By people who want to know about the history of the Tropel Amphicar, I like to try to get their imagination to fire. The discussion starts out as to why we don't have these cars today, what happened to them, what happened to the company, how many did they make, why didn't they sell, why didn't they catch on, that kind of thing. Well, there's a lot of reasons for that, but at the same time, I'd like them to consider that had the idea actually caught on and sales came back into the company and they actually did sell cars and they started to make money, they certainly would have reinvested in the company and redesigned the cars and made them better and better, like all car companies do. So let's take the scenario of the car did succeed and they sold a lot of them. Let's say they did make their sales goal, which I think was an expectation of maybe 20,000 units in the first year. Well, then 20,000 of these things would have been out that one year, and of course the following years. So instead of there being just 4,000 of these made, there would have been hundreds of thousands of them made over a few years. Now, what kind of Amphicar would we have today? How many cars on the road that would be normal use cars that people have would also have that dual capability of being amphibious as well? We might even have amphibious Lincolns and Cadillacs, and we'd be taking people to weddings and funerals and limousine rides, you know, and amphibious vehicles would be in everybody's garage. That was probably the dream or the goal of the main inventor, Hans Tropel. So I'd like people to think about that when they look at this, to remember that this is only one of 4,000 cars made. And although it works great, it certainly could have left a lot of room for improvement. But in today's world, just think about the problems they would have, like every time you hit the water, the airbag would go off. So that's a reason, that's a little bit of pro and con as to why we don't have them today.
Hey, tell us, as we pull out, tell us a little bit about anything that you need to do whenever you're pulling out of it.
Okay, exiting the water, you should know what your ramp is. Right now we have a little underwater dock situation here, so I know where the ramp is. That's what that little cement block is to mark it, okay? There's many ways you can approach your ramps, but mechanically, the only thing you really need to do is put the clutch in, put the land drive in first gear. When you let your clutch back out, both propellers and wheels are spinning simultaneously. And depending upon how you hit the ramp and how much gas you give it is how smooth it'll come out of the water. If you have a situation where you need to get out of the water because you're tired, you ran out of gas, your car's leaking or something, the car is very good at climbing out of sand and dirt. Sometimes you can even do mud with it. If you need to get out and you're having problems getting out because the car doesn't have the power or the ability to climb, you simply back up 20 feet or so and then put the car back in gear again and go faster until you're actually able to climb out. Cheesy system. So I was actually able to climb out of a small dirt abutment just by banging the car up on it, which, you know, I wouldn't advise, but I'm mentioning this because I'd like to get out that these cars are sturdy and they can do this stuff. People think that they're not that strong or won't be able to climb out of things. They can climb out of pretty much anything.
I'm Ron Wyan.
Terry Wyan.
Stacy Getz and our son Logan. Stacy is our niece. This is our second time down here. We've had this 1964 Amphicar for 1 year now. At the show last year, we entered it in the car show just as a lark. We got home, and 3 weeks later, we got the first place prize in the import division. And we just did it for fun. We're from Troy, Michigan, and This is Terry's car. We call it Terry's Ferry. And we're just having a lot of fun with it swimming. To me, it's unbelievable, the reaction of people. I really don't get it. Wherever we take it, there's crowds of people around. And I wanted a Model A and she wanted a boat, so this is like the perfect combination. It drives like a Model A and it swims like a boat.
So here you just come from the swap meet, so tell us what you just got there.
Oh, well, my kids won't be going to college. I just picked up a nice set of new shocks here and some rubber bits and thingies. All sorts of stuff you didn't know you need till you get here and see you need them. So.
Hello, I'm Steve Aquinto from Canton, Michigan, and this is my fish car, 1964. I spent about 3 years rebuilding it, and this is my first full summer with it. I have had it in the water about 4 times now.
Have you come to many of these shows at all, or?
Second show. Hope to be at more of them.
Good afternoon, my name is Ken Roy from St. Paul, Minnesota. I'm selling used Amphicar parts. I've accumulated them for 25 years and I've had about 8 cars. And I'm no longer going to restore any, and so I'm selling all my parts to anybody that wants it. I'm doing a really good deal today. I've been doing this for 3 years and sold a lot of parts for pretty cheap, giving somebody a break, making a few extra bucks, so we're all happy. Brakes, brand new brake cylinders, rebuilt, re-sleeved brake cylinders, U-joints for steering wheel, fan blades, bad trim, very bad trim, bad master cylinders, radios, and miscellaneous stuff. Axles down at that end, swing arms, axles, propeller shafts, just a little of everything. And for everybody that bought something from me, I hope you enjoy them, and thank you very much. Have a good day.
It's Tom Jones from Sun Prairie. Yesterday you interviewed me, but I have my little trailer with me. This is called a half amp. It was a Amphicar that was in a real bad fire and was all twisted and warped, and we cut it apart and built the trailer out of the front, and it floats, tows down the road fine. Underneath I got lots of room when you got one of these out. There's 2 coolers in there, my cleaning supplies, a couple lawn chairs, gas-powered blender for mixing your smoothies, and still got a few little improvements to work on. It floats good and everything.
So can you just drive right into the water?
Drive it right in the water with the trailer behind you, keep right on going. It's got a bilge pump in the floor, automatic bilge pump. Run the electrical wires from the car back to the bilge pump, and the brake lights and tail lights work. And thought it'd be kind of cool to have something extra this year and pull behind the car. Had the piece laying over and didn't know what to do with it, didn't want to throw it away, and it was too bad to make a car out of, so we cut it apart and built the trailer.
It was, this is, on 99% of the cars came with this. Mine has it. Still have it on my car today.
Yeah. Probably, I would have taken it. I didn't know that. I would have put that back on.
But now I have a very limited supply of this, I should say. I only have maybe enough to do, well, that's something new we had manufactured. Yeah, there's that pump there. Yeah, they're opposite.
So that's the vent rubber?
I am replacing my points. I drove my car here 500 miles, and if I can find my old coins, those are burnt points. They're pretty nasty looking, and I want to make sure I get home. So you do what you have to do. Turns out not to be a big job. Got my tools.
Better safe than sorry.
Got some good people here. Better safe than sorry. You got people here that carry spare parts and willing to share, and can't beat it. When cars were cars.
Yeah.
And people could work on them.
Yeah, that's right. There's a new
And
condenser in there too. So.
plenty of room to work.
Yep. Yep. We'll get them set. We'll get it running.
I think it's a chopstick, and I'm ready to go.
No, they're 110 bucks. They're on special. 110 bucks. See, I knew they were on sale. These are the most common parts that people need. They break down when they're on an event like this. And this way, all the swimming in the lake is a continuous event. There's no interruptions due to a broken fan belt or a starter motor or whatever. And then they can also actually see the items as opposed to thinking about them, you know, brake hoses break and so forth. So that's why we're here. And it gives the dual purposes. It shows that we really are a three-dimensional entity. We exist and we do have parts. So it serves everybody really well. It helps out, you know.
And you bring basically a van load full, or
Just a van, yes, not full, but you know, the key items for the swim-in.
Okay.
So, and it's non-stop selling and working and helping, and
And since I'm helping him, he's giving me a cut.
I am. Yes.
You want a drink?
I was trying to tell you how easy this job was. It only took 6 of us to get it going. And here's the star of the show right here. Bruce Smith.
he just did that how long ago, Bruce? He just have this problem today?
We're Mark and Elizabeth Schlemmer, and we're from Burlington, Kentucky, and we're up here in Celina for actually we're here for the 5th year. This is the 10th annual convention of the Amphicar Club, and we're here with our 1965 Amphicar. We restored it ourselves, did pretty much everything except the body work, put it all back together. Elizabeth is responsible for keeping it clean and looking good. She's the detail person. She hand-stitched the interior and has done an awful lot of work keeping it good, and we have a lot of fun with it. We enjoy coming to the swim-ins and have a great time. Actually, I happen to be the president of the International Amphicar Owners Club, and myself and the other board members organize this event each year in Celina. This year we've had 61 Amphicars here all weekend. We've had a great time. We've had a lot of swimming, lots of time socializing. We're here at a swap meet today. We're going to have a banquet and dinner later on this evening. Really a great time. We've got T-shirts that Doug and Phyllis Parsons put together, name tags for all the people Mike and Glenda Maven do, and it's really a big event that goes on here all weekend. Elizabeth actually has one of the bigger jobs all weekend. She's responsible for all the registration. Everybody that comes to the event, they are directed to Elizabeth. She logs them in, gives them dash plaques, and signs them in and gives them a schedule of events. And the dash plaques this year are a great hit also. Dave Dare gets those each year. It's a shot of the Amphicars in the water from a helicopter a few years back. Really a great dash plaque.
My name's Rick Young. This is my wife Jo, my daughter Ava. We are from Tennessee. We live in Murfreesboro, just outside of Nashville.
And we were just talking about your daughter rides along. Does she seem to enjoy it and stuff like that when you go on it?
Oh yeah, this is the first weekend she's really been out in the car in the water, and I don't think she realizes that she's doing something unusual yet. She's not old enough, but yes, she enjoys it.
Say,
Hi, my name is Steve Mankey. This is my wife Agnes, my daughter Nicole, and my daughter Abby. We're from Kaukauna, Wisconsin, and we've had our Amphicar for about 13 years. And it floated when we bought it. I actually drove it home, but after about 2 years or so, it started to leak pretty bad, so we needed to tear it apart. And 5 years later, it saw the road again. The girls enjoy it. Nicole, do you like going out in the car? Yeah, would you like to say something? She pretty much thinks that, everybody has one. She's grown up in it. She was a baby. She was just months old, and she was out swimming in it, and she doesn't know life without an Amphicar, so she's pretty lucky.
You get out to a lot of shows and things with it?
We try to take it out. We make it to the national meet every year, and a few regional meets with some friends. Not too many non-Amphi events though, but it is a lot of fun. It's a show every time I go to the gas station. So everybody, it's about an hour just to go down the street to the gas station because everybody pulls in and has a million questions. And since we're from Wisconsin, of course our national symbol is cheese, so there's a cheese head on the antenna. This is 1964 model, red, most common color.
I'm Bill Connolly. You might know me as Bilgemaster. I drove up to the 10th annual International Amphicar Owners Club meeting here in Celina, Ohio, which is great. From Springfield, Virginia, which is about 540 miles. It took me about 12 hours, straight through.
What kind of roads did you take here?
Interstates, side roads, occasional cornfields, whatever it took. It's not bothered.
Very good. And you maintain the website and all that?
Yeah, that's right. I take care of the website, and you know, it's a lot of fun, and you get to meet a lot of interesting people. I'm sure you know that by now if you've been watching.
And how long have you been collecting Amphicars and all that then?
Well, I got this one. I don't really collect them. It's the only one I got. I'm at the lower economic threshold of Amphicar ownership. Yeah, we all live in an elevator shaft, and I got this one back in 1994 at a price that most people ask me not to talk about.
Very good. And it looks like you've had it in the water here recently there. Do you get it out in the water much? Or?
Yeah, just giving some rides to some folks that were, you know, wandering around hereabouts, all interested about it.
Well, thank you so much for talking to us.
Righto. Hi, I'm Bill Bilgemaster Connolly, and this is John the Captain Bevins, and we are about to drive the car into the river. Thank you.
And we are hoping to drive it back out.
Yeah, that's the real trick. That's some kind of train here. And in we go. Thank you very much.
I saved your beer.
Oh, good.
From Celina.
That's what you call a sloppy water entry. Yeah. I take care of the website, basically just managing it, but John here is one of the fellows who basically provides lots of content, like online manuals and whatnot. He has some CDs that'd be worthwhile. If you're just getting an Amphicar, you should definitely look into it.
There's a lot of information out, more information out there now than there ever was, though. 5 years ago, you could go to every Amphicar website that's out there and look at everything available on the web in a couple hours.
Yeah, easily. But
which
yeah.
I did many times, just hoping that there's something more.
Something better.
There's got to be something more out there.
Yeah, in fact, that's one of the reasons I started this Amphicar Net was because it just gave people sort of a free form. There's amphicar.com, which is, you know, the club's website. And there's also amphicar.net, which is more of a free-form place that actually feeds a lot into the club's website, because, you know, obviously most of the people interested in these are members of the club, so it just gives them a place where they can, you know, do up a website that they like. You know, if they're interested in like alien abductions and amphibious vehicles, we don't care, you know. And there's no pop-ups, and it's, you know, perfectly free. Basically the types of lubricants that most people who know better, you know, use in an Amphicar would be like Amsoil, which is a synthetic lubricant that's very, very water resistant, which obviously has some pluses. You may have noticed you're in the middle of a lake. Yeah, okay. So, yeah. Yeah, and like the sales commissions for that, that's what pays for it.
Well, let's see. About a few months ago, my brother-in-law Ted and I decided to take my Amphicar, and as usual, there's a small lake not too far from where I live called Lone Tree. So we did our usual, Ted screaming like a little girl and me flying into the lake at third gear and hit the lake and laugh, ha ha ha, take off across the lake. Cruising around for about a half an hour, we look up and from a distance and we see a sheriff pull up to the boat ramp. Thought nothing of it, you know, they're just doing the patrol, and then an ambulance pulled up. And I looked at Ted and said, well, I certainly hope it's nothing serious. And we continued about our merry little way, and then a pumper truck in another ambulance, another pumper truck, 2 more sheriffs, 3 state patrols, 4 or 5 rescue people, and then the one that left no doubt why they were there was the dive rescue team showed up. So we kind of got a good laugh, motored across the lake, drove on out, pulled up. Lots of chuckles and ha-has and pictures being taken by all the officers except one.
Yeah, you see a lot of people frantically dialing 911. He's going to kill himself in his car. It's so terrible what has driven him to this. You know. Okay.
So they...
clearly in Colorado they have more manpower. You know, usually like where I'm from, Washington, they just drag. You know.
Drag for the bodies.
Yeah, get the bodies out of there.
So the one cop comes up to the car, you know, his chest all puffed out, you know, there's got to be the one for some reason. While all the others are laughing and having a great old time taking photographs. And yeah. I need to see your driver's license and registration. We had a report of a car driving in the water. Yeah, sure did. Yeah, I didn't think there was.
And this is.
Where's this going? So I hand him all my paperwork, and several of the other officers there, they come over and, oh, driving back in the water, we want to see how it works. And so I did the whole thing, big splash, and lots of yah-yah clapping, and they come back out. That cop rushes back over to me, hands me my driver's license. Your driver's license is expired. You're going to find somebody else to drive this rig home. I said, oh, fine, my brother-in-law Ted can do that. He drives it all the time. But for now, I'm going to go back out in the water where I'm legal. Goodbye. Took my license, drove back out in the water.
I don't really have that kind of problem where I am. They're usually pretty happy to see me. The place where I usually go in is like Potomac River, just south of D.C., also the Occoquan River, which is a tiny river, but very nice. And they've seen me tow back enough weekend boaters whose engines have died that I'm basically, you know, a good guy. And they see me enough, and it's just so odd. You know, you're supposed to have like, you know, the stickers and the numbers and everything on the side. And I used to have like the little magnetic stickers with the numbers, and I just don't bother anymore. I don't care. So, I'm pretty lucky where I am.
They get to know you. I'm on first name basis with most of them. Especially now, after they, you know, for the 50th time see you drive in.
Yeah.
No, he's supposed to do that. But one of these times, somebody's really going to drive in the lake there, you know, on accident. Oh, no, he does that all the time. That's all right.
Yeah, I've heard stories about that, like where somebody like, there was one couple that was in a Cadillac and was following an Amphicar, and I guess it was pretty dark, you know, fairly foggy. And apparently the wife advised her husband, like, oh, go ahead, George, it must be really shallow here. Celina's really good to us here because, you know, I mean, we've been talking about some of the, you know, hassles you can get by, you know, befuddled public servants. Yeah, it'll happen occasionally, but it's more, from my experience, more the exception than the rule. And here in Celina, Ohio, you couldn't hope for better support from the, you know, the town and the people, which is why we've been coming here. This is now the 5th year that we've had our annual convention here in Celina, and really the city and the people here just said you couldn't have asked for a better place. And what's kind of weird is that there was some talk a couple of years ago, really just sort of talk for the sake of it, about like, oh, maybe we should move the event around a little bit, you know, cater more to people here, there, the other place. And the president of the International Amphicar Owners Club is Mark Schlemmer, and you know, we were just talking about this, and hey, I wonder what the actual real center is for, you know, the Amphicar universe. So what I did was I took the latitude and the longitude of all the club members' addresses, and I digitized it, so it wasn't like minutes and seconds, and I threw it all into, you know, pretty simple, into like an Excel spreadsheet, and then I did an average, which would give you the actual central location. And it turns out that it's less than 1 minute, 1 degree of latitude and longitude. It's not terribly far from here. It's like less than like something like 40 miles.
Nothing.
You check out the website, you know, statistically it's like the chances are something like 1 in 228,000 or something like that. It's amazing. So clearly we belong here. And
they treat us with open
then they
arms.
do. They really go all out for us.
Hi, I'm John Capone from Schaumburg, Illinois. I've had my Amphicar for about 1.5 years now. Just enjoy putzing around with it. I've been in a few swims. I just got done putting a new engine in it. About a month ago before this swim, I had some problems, but I'm happy to be back in the water, having a good time with all my friends. And I think it's one of the greatest. I think it's one of the greatest cars made. I love it. I've always wanted one since I'm a kid, and I'm just finally glad I've got one now.
Hi, I'm Phyllis Parsons.
I'm Doug Parsons.
I'm Chad Parsons.
And we have a red 66. We've been coming to this meet since it started. We go as many as we can, and we swim a lot. We live by a lake, so every chance we get, we're in the water.
Okay, see you later. Thanks.